When a real estate market shifts, no emails get sent out, no text messages get sent. There's no secret conversations that go on that you don't know about. But a shifting market shows up in subtle little changes, little things that start happening in the market that let us know change is on the way. On today's episode of the Elite Realty Group Podcast, we're going to lay out for you some of the things that you need to be looking at, looking for, watching out for, and the information that we are seeing have these little subtle changes already began. That and more on this episode of the Elite Realty Group Podcast. Here we go, y'all. Hello once again, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Elite Realty Group Podcast, where you receive the most up-to-date, relevant real estate information you're going to find anywhere on the planet. You're going to get it right here from your friends at Elite Realty Group. I am Mike Elkins, broker-owner of Elite Realty Group here in Morristown, Tennessee. Glad to be on your screens or in your ears today. Here's what we're talking about, and it's a good one. If this happens in the real estate market, look out. Watch out. Look out for these things. Now, listen, that's not clickbait. That's not something that I'm just trying to say to get a lot of people to watch the show today. But it's the kind of phrase that makes you think. Because everybody is kind of on edge and they're wondering what is going on in the real estate market. And they're wanting to know, like, what is happening. But more importantly, like, what is happening, people's asking the question, what should I be looking for? What are you talking about when you say, if this happens, look out? Listen, this is what you need to know about real estate, okay? Real estate is not like this static thing. It doesn't just stay in one place. It literally moves in cycles, ups, downs, ins, outs. It's just always in motion. Like it's constantly moving. It's changing. It is constantly changing. If you've been watching this podcast, listening to this podcast for any time now, we can tell you that it's shifting. It's been changing. We're moving to what we think is the sense of some kind of normalcy that's coming in the real estate market. What you have to see today is, and what my point is of talking to you today, is some of the signs and the things that you need to look at to see what's going on in your neck of the woods in the real estate market, and some little subtle changes that you can look at to see, okay, where am I? We've got people that watch this show. You're going to be a seller. You're selling your house. Maybe you're trying to sell your house. Everybody wants to know nowadays, why has my home not sold in 3 hours? Why is my home not sold in 3 weeks? We're going to look at that. We've got buyers right now that's looking at it and saying, okay, like, look, home prices are up. Interest rates are up, even though they've been ticking down lately. Like, I'm going to just sit on the sideline and wait till something happens because I hear there's a crash coming. Listen, as I said earlier, real estate market don't send out emails, text messages, and oh, by the ways, this is getting ready to happen. It subtly begins to change, and it subtly begins to move, and it subtly begins to shift. Now, if you are paying attention, you can a lot of times see what those things are, especially when you know, and you're going to know about them today, but you can see that they start happening, and then wherever you fit in, selling or buying, you kind of know what to do. You're going to get all that today and more on this episode of the Elite Realty Group Podcast. You've got to be ready when the market's ready, okay? When the market makes its move or is getting ready to make its move, you've got to be ready to make your move. Let's talk about some things, okay, of the first signs that we need to look for that the real estate market is changing, okay? The first signs that you need to see. Now, look, this is a big thing. You got to hear this statement, okay? You can't always see this shift in the real estate market happening. Oftentimes, you feel it first. You feel it before you see it. Here's what I mean, okay? Suddenly, just out of nowhere, it's like one day to the next, it happens. The calls for showings, they just kind of slow down. They just kind of slow down, dry up, whatever you want to say. Homes that used to sell in days, okay, 3 hours, what a lot of people still are looking for and want to know why it's not happening. Homes that used to sell in days start taking a few weeks to happen, okay? Open house traffic just isn't quite what it used to be. Open houses are making a massive comeback in the real estate market right now. They kind of went away during COVID, but they're making a massive return to the real estate market. But open house traffic just isn't quite as busy as it used to be. And then what starts happening is conversations between agents and sellers and buyers, they ain't sounding like they used to be. You start hearing those things. We're just going to wait this out and see what happens. We're just going to have to see what's going on. That's the quiet part of a shift, okay? That's the quiet part of a shift. If you've been paying attention to us at all, you know we are coming out of, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you we're probably already out of it. We're coming out of one of the biggest seller markets in the history of mankind, okay? Started with COVID and it's went until, not so recently. It's been a little while that it's changed. But man, live home prices went through the roof. Shifts happened just like crazy. But now there's a shift happening to back what we're calling here at Elite Realty Group a sense of normalcy. Look, you don't need a graph to tell you that, although I can show you a graph. Talked about that with you a lot, but you don't need a graph to tell you that. You see that in things happening, okay? Let's talk about suddenly the phones start slowing down. We're seeing that, y'all. Like that's a real thing that's happening right now, okay? One of the other things I told you, homes that used to sell in days, hours, is now taking weeks to sell, okay? We're at around 60, 61 days average that a home is sitting on the market right now. Open house traffic just isn't what it used to be. We had back in the spring, we had a little contest here inside of Elite Realty Group, and we had 2 teams. And what we did was we wanted to have an open house as part of that contest, and we had the teams see, okay, which team could get the most people at the open house. We literally had over 80 people. Over 80, okay, through the open house. We had an agent had an open house this past weekend, and this was what she said. This is the first time ever that I've had an open house, that I had 0 people there. Remember, it starts quietly. It's things that you start seeing happening. Conversations start being different. We're just going to wait and see what happens. We've literally got so many people right now waiting to see what happens. If they all come in at the same time, holy cow, look out. That's what's happening. That's the quiet start of a shift. Where are we shifting to? Okay, let's go ahead and jump to the end here. Are we going to crash? Are you telling us, Mike, like this is going to crash? Because we've got a lot of people sitting out there thinking real estate is going to crash. We're shifting to normalcy. It has been so chaotic in the real estate arena, in the real estate market nationwide, but especially here in the Lakeway area. We live in one of the most desirable places in the country that people want to move to, and there's many reasons. That's another podcast. But it's a very desirable place. But we're moving to normal. Okay, we're moving to normal where inventory is starting to level out. We've been at a place where we've not had inventory. And so with all the people wanting to come to our area because it's beautiful, it's great, it has much to offer, the lack of inventory drove prices through the roof, okay? We're moving to a sense of normalcy, which means pricing is starting to level. That's good, okay? For some reason, realtors have this bad thought about them that like we set prices and we do things and we want the market sets the price, and the wildness in the market in the last several years has made pricing go crazy. I am all for prices stabilizing, and we're starting to see those things happen, okay? Last year in the real estate market, homes, again, they were going very low days, 20, 30 days. Now we're at 61. It's what you're seeing is normalcy coming into real estate market. So markets, look, they start to whisper before they actually shout it out, okay? You need to be paying attention. I'm going to talk to two groups of people today. First, I want to talk to the home sellers out there. Then I'm going to talk to the home buyers. And what does these subtle little changes mean to you? Okay. Because again, it's quiet before it shouts. Okay. And what you need to do, whether you're in a buyer or a seller category, you need to be ahead of the market. Don't chase the market. Be ahead of the market. And the people that get ahead of the market, they're winning. Okay. We're seeing people right now selling their houses winning and winning big because they're ahead of the market. We're going to dive into that today. So let's talk sellers first. Okay. Let's look at these subtle changes that's happening, the whispering that's going on, the quiet part that's happening. Let's talk about what it means for sellers because it's pretty critical, okay? When you see those signs that we talked about, you got a decision to make, okay? When you know homes are sitting on the market longer, we're seeing literally record price reductions, okay? You've got to ask yourself the question, you've got the decision to make, do I chase the market or do I lead it? Okay? Do I chase what everybody else is doing, which again, we're seeing a lot of price reductions, hint, hint, or do I lead the market? Okay? Here's one of the things you need to do to stay ahead of the curve, okay? To beat the noise of the market. If you're seeing lots of price reductions, that means people's price their house is too high, right? So price ahead of that. Price ahead of the curve. Go ahead and jump ahead. Now, am I saying prices are going down? No, they're still rising. They're just not rising at 15, 20, 50, 40%. They're rising at 3%, 4%. Price your home with that knowledge out there, okay? It's not the market of 6 months ago, 1 year ago, 2 years ago. That's not happening. Price your home ahead of the curve. If homes are starting to sit longer, that means buyers are being more selective. There are more homes for sale now than there's been in years for buyers to pick from. Okay, the people that are missing it on pricing, their homes are sitting. Their homes are sitting for a while. Their homes are sitting for a long time. The people that's pricing their house in today's market, those are the ones that's selling right now. So price the house accordingly, okay? Price ahead of the curve. That's number one, okay, if you're a seller. The second thing you need to do is, if you're a seller, and I think this is a big one, but don't confuse price reductions with panic, okay? Price reductions just mean those are the people that's chasing the market. And again, you got to go back and ask yourself the question, do I want to chase the market or do I want to lead the market? Okay. Where do I want to fit in? Where do I want my home to fit in? I told our agents just yesterday, literally, that we now have to look at this in a more detailed manner for our clients, and we have to be really specific than we've had to do in several years because it's that critical. When you're talking about, you used to have in some cases one other home that was your competition, to now you've got 10 to 15 that's your competition. It's only taken one to beat you out. There's chances of there 14 or 15 other ones that could potentially be beating you out. You've got to look at that. You've got to see that. You've got to make sure that you fix that. So again, don't confuse price reductions with panic. There's just a lot of those people starting to realize what we're saying is true. This is not the market of several years ago. You have to be more specific on your pricing now than you've had to be in several years. So number two is don't confuse that with panic. You don't have to panic, cut the bottom out. You just got to price it right. That's literally it. Not asking you to cut the price. We're not asking you to go under the market value of your house. You just need to price it at the market value. That's literally it. Number three, if you're a seller, okay? First impressions still rule, okay? We're seeing that, man. Your marketing and your price is critical. Two things sell homes in today's real estate market, and guess what? Two things sell homes in every real estate market. It is price and marketing. They have to connect. They have to line up. We had a conversation with someone just this week, went and looked at some property last week. We had a conversation, just some people this week, that marketing was going to be great, but the price wasn't going to line up with the marketing. And if they don't line up, it don't work. You can't be $100,000 overpriced. You can't be $50,000, $80,000. You can't do that in today's markets. Those first impressions still rule. And first impressions, a major part of that is the price. Okay? So your price and your marketing has to be literally spot on. Number 4, okay? Days on the market. I love this analogy. Okay? I love this analogy because this fits me to a T. Okay, but days on the market are like milk. Okay, the longer it sits, the less appealing it looks. I can't take it with the milk that's close to the days of expiration. Okay, I just can't do it. And the less appealing that milk looks. Okay, same thing with listings. Okay, don't let your listings get stale. Okay, fresh photos, fresh marketing, fresh energy to the listing. It matters. Newness. I tell people when your home hits the market, it's the most critical time because it's new, it's fresh, it's showing up as hot new listing on everything. Don't let it become like the milk that sits around and gets stale. Okay, you don't want that to happen. We've got people, again, that's really trying to just overprice their homes, and it's affecting them in a very, very negative way. So if you're a seller, those 4 things are critical. Make sure you've got those in line, y'all. Make sure you got those in line. Now let's talk about buyers, okay? Let's flip this around and talk about the buying side. If you've been waiting, okay, to buy a house, this is where things get interesting, okay? This is where things get interesting for you, okay? Home sitting longer. That means you got a little breathing room, okay? You don't have to react so quickly. You don't got to rush into a bidding war. You don't got to waive every contingency just to get your offer even to be looked at, okay? That's not where we are. But if you're a buyer, it's still very important that you get your financing ready before you ever go start. You got to be started. You got to know where you're going to go in the financing realm before you ever start looking. You've got to be ready. Even in the market that we're shifting to, cooling down a little bit, not crashing, the best deals still go. The people, the sellers that do what I just told them to do, those deals are still going to go fast. So you still got to be ready. Okay, if you're a buyer and there's a seller doing the things I just told them to do, their home's going to sell quicker than average because they've done what they need to do. Okay, we know average right now is 61 days. So those people that do those things, they're going to beat average. So that means that the buyer, you got to be ready. Your pre-approval still got to be in hand. Okay, it makes you competitive without you panicking. Okay, that's number 1. You got to get the financing ready. Number 2 is, this is a good one, okay? Working with a good realtor will help you with this. You still got to understand the seller psychology, okay? If it's a home that's been sitting 40 plus days on the market, that seller's probably getting motivated, okay? They're probably getting motivated. But the seller needs to hear this too, because this is where the staleness comes in. If your house has been sitting for a while, buyers see that. They're probably going to think there's either something wrong, or if these people want to sell, they're motivated. The offer's probably going to be lower. That means buyer. You see a house been sitting out there for a long time, maybe you want to try to make a little bit less of an offer. I'm not telling you what to offer. I'm not telling you what to do, but it's been sitting for a while. Let's see what happens. Let's try to get something going. Maybe they've already bought another house. Maybe they're already on the hook. They're committed. They're motivated at this point. But just be respectful. Okay, that's what you need to know. We're not seeing, here's you a good stat, quoted on last week's show, homes are dropping about 4% from asking price to sell. That's what's happening in our market right now. So your offer's got to be respectful. You can't come in here and ask for 50% off. It's not going to happen. Your offer's still got to be respectful and realistic. But that can go a long way right now. If you're a buyer, that's something that you want to look at. Just because it's been on the market doesn't mean something is wrong with it. It could have just been priced wrong, okay? The third thing that's offered on the table now that you've not seen offered in a long time, negotiate on more than just price, okay? More than just 20% off of the price or 20,000 or whatever you want to say. How about some seller concessions? How about paying closing costs? How about a home warranty? How about those kind of things that's out there that sellers we're seeing be more open to give to you as a buyer? Get the seller to pay those things. Get them to pay their interest rate down, discount points. Okay, maybe put some new appliances. Those are the things that you're starting to see when I say these are quiet things that you see happening. Okay, not everybody's going to sit and tell you this stuff, but we are. Okay, because we're going to tell you the quiet part. We're going to say the quiet part out loud because we want you to be informed buyers and sellers and know what's going on in the real estate market. Okay, so you can right now negotiate more than price. Okay, it's not just that. Okay, and last but not least, if you're out there and you're a buyer, don't wait for the headlines to tell you it's a buyer's market. Okay, by the time the news catches on, okay, prices are going to already have adjusted. You're going to be competing again. There's going to be a lot of people in the market again. Right now, there is a lot of, I was on the radio this morning and literally said, there is pent up demand. There's people just sitting and waiting, okay, till they start seeing these things. Well, listen, when the news starts telling you, and it's national headlines, it's already too late. Right now, we're seeing people come in and being able to do the things that I just told you about, all because they have the knowledge, okay? Don't time the market, okay? Time your life, okay? And then make the market work for you, okay? You've got those opportunities that are out there right now. If you find the right home in the right neighborhood with the right monthly payment, that's a win, okay? No matter what phase the market's in. Right neighborhood, right home, right payment, it's right. We always say here, if it's right for you, it's right. If it's wrong for you, it's wrong. The decision needs to be in you need to figure that out, okay? But these are things that we're seeing quietly start happening, okay? And that's what's going on. So let's look at the local picture in this last little segment, okay? Let's zoom into what's happening, okay? We're seeing homes set on the market, okay, at the tune of 61 days, okay? That's down. So we're already seeing that, okay? Adjustments being made. We were in the high 70s, low 80s beginning of the year. So people are starting to adjust, okay? You've got to know that. Price reductions are becoming very common because people are not pricing right out of the gate, especially in the $250,000 to $400,000 range. That's what's happening locally, okay? But this is important. Demand has not disappeared. Okay, there's still a lot of people in the market. It's just leveling out because the inventory is rising. Okay, we're not in a crash. We're in a correction. We're in a shift. These quiet little things are starting to happen. You need to know about them. Creation, okay, and corrections create opportunity. Okay, you just got to know what to look for. The things that you need to be looking for, I've outlined for you. This is what we call a balanced market, a normal market, okay? It's moving to normal. So here's the bottom line. Like when you start seeing homes sit more longer, more price improvement signs popping up, fewer multiple offer situations, look out, that's your signal, okay? When you start seeing as buyers, like they're offering concessions, they're cutting the price, they're giving home warranties, look out, that's your sign. That's something that you need to look for. Sellers, it's time to act while the demand's still strong, okay? Buyers, it's time to lean into it. The opportunity's opening up for you, okay? Real estate rewards the people who move with the market, not pushing against it, not going against it. You're just moving with the market, and the market is moving. It's shifting. So if you're out there and you're selling in the Lakeway area, you're out there and you're buying in the Lakeway area, all that this costs you to do some more investigation for yourself is literally a conversation. Look into it and see what you need to do. Again, if it's right for you, it's right. If it's wrong for you, it's wrong. The agents at Elite Realty Group would love to sit down and have the conversation with you to see if it's right for you at this moment. All that costs you is a phone call and a little bit of your time for us to have the right conversation. This has been another episode of the Elite Realty Group Podcast, bringing you the most up-to-date, relevant real estate information you're going to find anywhere on the planet. You get it right here. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and hang out with us today. Again, if we can do anything for you in the real estate arena, make sure you reach out to one of our agents today, 423-307-8566. Be sure to watch our social media channels as there's new content that goes out every single day to help you, the buyer and seller, investor in the Lakeway area. Until the next episode of the Elite Realty Group Podcast, I hope your day, your week, maybe even your month is blessed. Until next time, I'm Mike Elkins with Elite Realty Group. I'll see you all on another episode of the Elite Realty Group Podcast.